Hello guys, so this week I'm actually in Japan on a business trip. I have a couple of free days, so I decided I should rent a sports car and enjoy the Japanese countryside. And I'm very excited to drive a car that I have been wanting to drive since golden age of Top Gear days, and it's the Honda S2000. At that time, my dream car back then was the Mazda MX-5, and the S2000 is kind of, the bigger brother of the MX-5. The same FR layout, more power, a more exotic engine that revs to 9,000 RPM. So the S2000 has always been a car that I kind of placed on the holy grail as one of the best Japanese sports cars ever made. But having never driven one, I'm very curious to find out what this car is going to be like. If you've been following my channel, I've been quite fortunate in the past 2 years or so to be able to drive all kinds of high performance cars. I am a little bit concerned and worried that if I meet my hero, the S2000, will I be disappointed? And that's what I hope to find out in the Japanese mountain roads. I guess you would say it's natural habitat. So I hope you guys enjoy. Thanks. Hello guys. Join me today in Japan. I'm actually in Koyasan. And as you can see, the roads here are just amazing. And I have with me a slightly ratty, but still nice, AP1 S2000. This is, of course, the JDM spec, which means 9,000 RPM and 250 horsepower. Oh my gosh, look at this engine. Oh, poor little car. Lots of bikers on this road. I don't blame them, the roads are damn nice. Wow, this engine has done nearly 200,000 kilometers. It's an old car. Are you kidding me? Push this back. Okay. Let's try it again. Shit. Okay, that gave me a scare. The bonnet wouldn't close just now. Had to really slam it, thank God. Anyway, let's have a look inside the car. It's very cozy in here. Let's give it more light. This car has no glove box. Similar to the 350Z, there is no glove box. There's a little net pouch here and a storage compartment where you can, I don't know, keep your wallet or something. It's not the most practical car. The radio is here, nav system is here, but I do like the dashboard. This dashboard is funky. It just screams Japanese obsession of digital tech back in the 90s, even though this car is from the 2000s. Look at that. How awesome is that? Nothing analog, it's all digital. And of course, this is a soft top. The way you put it down is by doing the latch. Free the hook, both sides, the hook is free. Then you have a toggle right here and the roof comes down. And then you get to have top-down driving experience, which that's how the car is meant to be driven. Let's start the engine, clutch down, press the start. Okay, we are recording. Top-down experience. I thought about driving with the top up, but actually I think the fabric roof makes a lot of noise. I'm gonna try driving like this, top down, windows up. Might be better for the sound. Let's hope so. I only get one chance. Now, what would I like to answer? What questions would I like to have answered whilst driving this car? I have been very curious about this S2000 for a very long time. So, the first question I would like to answer is the steering. Is the electric steering any good? The next question I want to answer is this engine just all about the top end? Is there not enough torque down low? Is that why with the AP2 they went with a 2.2? And the handling, I'm sure I'm gonna love it. It's 50-50 weight distribution. It's the one of the main things that people talk about when they think of the S2000. And then the gear shift. I have a FD2. I really like the gear shift on that. How does this compare? So let's get started. Immediately, this gear shift and this steering. The gear shift feels very mechanical because it is a longitudinal engine. I think the linkage is actually mechanical instead of using cables, and so you feel the engine when you rest your hand on the gear stick. It's just buzzing away. It's very nice. It's a very nice mechanical feel. But in contrast with that, you have the steering, which is, to be honest, kind of numb, but when you do turn it in, it weights up really nicely. So maybe the first few degrees of movement, you feel like, oh, this thing is numb, like a Honda Jazz or something. But as soon as you move past that, as soon as you move like 5 or 10 degrees, it weights up, and so you get used to it quite quickly. And also it just vibrates very slightly on your fingertips, and it just adds to the rawness of this car. Even the throttle pedal, I feel like the throttle pedal, it feels to me like it's cable actuated and not fly-by-wire. I'm not sure, I have to look it up, but the fact that it feels like there's a cable is a good thing. It feels mechanical. This car feels pretty damn raw. Down low, this engine, what does it feel like? So 3000 RPM in third gear, below 50 kph. If I try to floor it, not now, I'm in the middle of a corner. If I try to floor it, zero power, absolutely nothing. I can floor it now. In another car, the tail would come out, but look, I'm flooring it, nothing. And it starts to come alive, but you don't really feel the VTEC switch. It's not as obvious as the Type R, the Civic Type R. And maybe that's why they don't have the VTEC light on this car, maybe. So let's put it down to second. Ah, now it sings. But it's not that powerful. This car does not feel like, doesn't feel dangerous. It feels very civilized. But it's very zingy up top. This engine just wants to rev, and it wants you to rev all the way to redline. I'm doing all of this in second gear, which in another car, maybe in my Type R, I would be using third by now. The chassis is great, very nimble. But I feel like the suspension, the damping on this feels very tired. Maybe it's just the age of this car, having almost doing 200,000 kilometers. I'm not sure if they replaced the dampers. I'm sure they have, but the damping feels flimsy on this car. It doesn't give me the confidence of pushing it that fast. Well, this car is fun. Doesn't feel 250 horsepower to me, to be honest. Feels maybe 220. But maybe that's because I haven't really been using the final 1000 revs. Because this car revs up like crazy. It goes all the way to 9,000. You really have to push it.
Turn-in is great. Look at this. Whoa, the rear just stepped out. Couldn't really feel it on the steering. It wasn't that communicative. I didn't feel it through the steering, but I heard it. That was 8,000. I feel like I'm torturing this engine by keeping it at 2,000. But I think this engine likes to be at the top end. It likes to be revved out. Yeah, there's not much feel coming through the steering, and I don't get the confidence to push it over the limit. Just, I don't know when is it gonna step out. It's a bit scary. It's strange because everything else on this car is so mechanical. The gear shift is really, really excellent. Better than the Civic. So mechanical and precise. But this steering is a bit of a letdown. I mean, if you're not driving near the limit, it's okay. It provides good weight, but it doesn't communicate much to you. And I think maybe because of the damping of this car as well, it just doesn't give me the confidence to really push it. And also having a GoPro strapped on my head, it's blocking the top maybe 20% of my vision, and it just makes driving a little bit more difficult. Yeah, I do wish that this thing has a bit more torque. Perhaps the AP2 would be more fun. I don't dare to chuck this car into a corner. It's just, I don't have the confidence to do it. Oh, and I can't see when the sun is too bright. It's reflection on the windshield, which makes visibility quite compromised. But with the low torque, I'm flooring it and the tail would not come out. It only comes out if I upset it on purpose, I feel like. If you drive smoothly, this car is okay. Not much power, but it sounds pretty intense the way that this engine just revs. Oh, this suspension is pretty terrible. The whole car feels flimsy, and it's just like, how should I say? Yeah, it just feels flimsy. The damping is horrible. The spring rate is too soft. I don't get the confidence of pushing it. Don't get me wrong though, this car is pretty fun, and I think with the suspension properly sorted out, I think this car can be a weapon. Okay, brakes are not bad. Oh, one hard brake and I can smell it. That's not a good sign. Whoa! Yep, suspension is horrible. The way the weight transfers is just not very confidence inspiring. It just wallows. no power. Oh. Dives when hard braking. Too much body motion. This car is slow. But it's the way it handles its body motion is, it doesn't need to go fast. I have to say my Civic Type R feels much more confident on roads like these. This is kind of a disappointment. Turn-in is great though. I just wish the suspension would be more confident and inspiring. Whoa, what the? Okay, let's find a place to stop and let's reflect upon this car. So I did quite a lot of driving in the mountain roads in this car, the S2000, and I don't know, I wanted to love this car. I mean, because of its legendary status, I've always been eager to try one, and this is a case of maybe it's better not to meet your heroes, because I don't know, I feel a little bit disappointed driving this. And let me just put it this way. Where I'm from in Thailand, the 996 C2, the base model, cost the same, if not cheaper, than one of these. Now it might not make sense to you guys, but the S2000 is pretty rare in Thailand, but still though, it costs more than the 996. And if you compare the 996 to this, that car is just on a different league. Like it's better in every single way. Steering is much better, the engine is much better, the chassis is much better, suspension is much better, the interior is much better. Exterior styling wise, well, you can pick your choose, but I think the 996 looks better. And so I, at least from the point of view of someone living in Thailand, I do not see the point of buying one of these, unless you really want one for no other reason other than, I don't know, nostalgia or something. So yeah, that's all I have to say about this car. Thanks guys.